Behren, Coach McGuire's talked about how you're still in a boot. First off, how are you feeling and where are you at in terms of just health?
Yeah, Coach McGuire keeping me in the boot. There's no reason right now, this late in the season to be pushing it. More mentally throughout the week, getting mental reps behind. I can still do routes on air. Still getting to throw 7-on-7. Just really no live reps. But it's a great opportunity for me to, encourage the guys, from behind.
And then just walking out for your senior day, playing your final regular season game with the Jones, final regular season game this Saturday, and then potentially an extension of play. But has it really kind of hit you that this is kind of like the final stretch of games for you?
Yeah, it has for sure. With all the accolades coming in at the end of the year, the bowl game invites, and it's kind of been crazy. This has been my home for 5 years. Been seeing a lot of bad football played at Texas Tech. Also seen a lot of good ball now played at Texas Tech. So it's really cool to reflect on the time that I've been here. I'm very grateful for being in the position that I have been at Texas Tech. I think Lubbock really deserves what's going on in Lubbock for sure. Especially me being a Lubbock kid, I think it's awesome for this community, and they deserve it.
Talking to you after the BYU game, you were pretty frustrated with yourself and just a little bit emotional. How has your mental gone since then?
Yeah, it's been great. I'm going to be harsh on myself every time, because I always know there's room for improvement. But I think it's been great. Bye week came at a good time. So getting back healthy again, to go finish this thing out the right way, I'm really excited about it.
Over these past two games, what have you identified that you maybe improved on from that BYU game, and what do you still want to change for the West Virginia game?
Yeah, I think just, execution, the simple plays, moving the ball on first down forward, that's going to go a long ways. And I think, when you go forward on first down, you got a good chance on second down. But if you do not go forward on first down, you're putting yourself in a tough situation. So, just getting the ball to playmakers early, get them in space, and let them do the work.
And then Coach Leftwich, we saw the video where his kids came into town and y'all were all hanging out at practice. How has that been for you guys, just having these coaches bring family in and having players even bring family in? How important is that for y'all?
Yeah, it's awesome. Coach McGuire has done a phenomenal job with, really building a culture here, and, that's involving family. I was at Coach Leftwich's house last week, and I took my dog over there to go play with their dogs, and then his little kids want to pet my dog, and so it's really cool. You're not going to find a closer family for sure at this level. Props to Coach McGuire and the way he handles, all the culture here.
What's it like being a landowner?
It's awesome. It is really cool. I actually got to get out there this last week, and just to be away from my phone, no service, just doing work or hunting or fishing or just relaxing. That's kind of my safe spot. I love to get out there and just sit by a fire and do nothing.
Joey kind of talked yesterday about, like, you guys aren't in this position now unless guys like you and J-Rod kind of establish it before all this kind of change comes in. But Bryce was here before you guys. He's been through a lot, obviously, to get to this point. What has he kind of meant to, one, just kind of helping the team get to this point, and what's he been like to you since you've been here?
Yeah, Bryce is truly one of a kind. Man, that dude is tough. He's had everything stacked up against him his whole entire career here. And for the way that he's responded, there's really no one else in the world, that has their bone literally sticking out of their leg. And then for him to come back and want to be a part of this team, Bryce has met so much. This is year 3 of us being captains together. So, that's my guy. I'm a ride or die for him. This is, he had that hit last week or 2 weeks ago. Right at the end, and I was just like, dude, that's the icing on the cake. Like, your last time regular season, the Jones, I was like, you popped that dude, got the ball back. I was like, that's so cool. I'm really proud of you. But, this is a big week because, this is everything we worked for. This is literally everything we've worked for at this point. So we know how important this game is, and, this week is going to be the most serious week we've ever taken this year.
Well, and then kind of along those lines, because there is so much still kind of ahead of you, could be at stake there. How much is it that you guys have been talking about this since last season ended, and now it's kind of in front of you to lock in even a little bit more, not take your position for granted?
Right, yeah. Just like Coach McGuire said back in the spring with that video when it was snowing in April in Lubbock, it's week 12 West Virginia, and, this is the part that we're at right now. So, I mean, it's just, this is week 12 of the season. This is another game in front of us. So we got to attack this week just we would any other week. So, we got a great game plan. Going to have a great practice today and tomorrow and be ready for Saturday.
Following up on a couple of things you mentioned, Nathan asked you, I was trying to remember how many acres you have.
150.
Did you go with any of your teammates down there?
Yes, sir.
Weekend?
Tanner Allen was there. This last trip was Tanner, Cash Cleveland, and Mitch Griffiths.
What y'all? Who was or what were y'all hunting?
We sat in the blind a few times for deer. Mitch has never shot a deer. He's from Virginia. He's actually never shot a gun until last bye week. So he is like fully done a 180 of like he's all in on the outdoor life. So we hunt for pigs, any type of varmints. We just had a good time. It was nice. The weather was cool. We got to do some fishing in too, so it was a good time.
How often have you been able to get down there?
Not much. The only time I got to be out there was the last bye week. But my dad is, local, so he's only about 45 minutes away from it. So he helps me out a lot of maintaining it. But any chance I get out there to go work or do anything like that, it's always a really good time.
And kind of the area that's in, like the perimeter is like around where?
Right past Abilene, in between Cross Plains and Brownwood. So in that kind of that hill country area.
You were talking about your dogs. What kind of dog do you have?
I got a German short-haired pointer, bird dog.
Definitely not catch it. Hit me in the forehead. Behren, can you look back at the last trip to Morgantown? Obviously not a win for you guys, but I'm sure that's motivation for you and the team.
No doubt. Last time I was in Morgantown was the last time this initial injury happened. So, yeah, for sure. Coach McGuire and I were actually talking about it. It's been my first time going back there since the injury. So, for sure, got to handle business. But, Morgantown's awesome. My family's going to get to go up there. It's Thanksgiving. It's a really, really fun atmosphere to play in. But, hopefully the outcome is different than last time.
Going back to kind of what you're saying about Bryce, culture sustainability is probably one of the hardest things to do now with how much movement happens and with how many seniors are going out this year that have been captains. How do you translate that to next season when you're not going to be here?
Yeah, I mean, it's the standard, and the standard stays the standard. I mean, Ben Roberts, John Curry, we're bringing back some really, really talented guys, and so those guys are ready for the opportunity too. This is going to be a great opportunity for, guys that haven't been as vocal. But there's going to be guys that step up this offseason, and, I'm not worried about it one bit because of what we built here. And, it's just going to be the standard as a standard, and whoever is up next to be a captain, I for sure have 100% that, this is going to be the culture that stays at Texas Tech for sure. All right, thanks, Behren. Thanks, guys.